Hi everyone, and welcome to this Football Manager 2014 tactics video, where I will be talking about my Tottenham Hotspur tactic that won me the quadruple in the first season: the League, FA Cup, League Cup and Euro Cup. Would have been good if it was the Champions League, but obviously Spurs didn't qualify for the Champions League this season. So this is the tactic. It's a 4-2-3-1 tactic effectively, but with a deep-lying defensive midfielder. Now, I just got lucky with this tactic. It's worked wonders. I only lost 4 games all season if you look at my fixtures. For those of you that haven't been watching my Spurs season, I'm guessing there'll be a few of you checking out this video. I lost 2 games in the league, Man United and Norwich, and 2 games in the Euro Cup in the second legs of those games, and it didn't matter because I went through on aggregate. So I've scored so many goals in the league. I ended up scoring 72 goals and conceding 35, so it's not bad defensively either. And I won the league by 10 clear points, 2 games lost. Just compared to everyone else, it's pretty incredible. So let's talk about the tactic. Just a normal goalkeeper, no sweeper keeper or any of that nonsense. Just normal goalkeeper, that's what I stuck with. Centre backs exactly the same. I didn't go for any fancy stuff like ball playing or limited defender. Maybe it would improve the tactic if I did. That's for you to experiment with. But this worked fine. It won me everything. It didn't matter. I went for wing backs, and they're just automatic wing backs rather than full backs. It just meant that my wing backs got insane ratings. Kyle Walker was Player of the Year. Baines was Players Player of the Year. All my defenders ended up with really good high average ratings by the time the season ended, simply because it just worked so effectively. Now, defensive midfielder, I use something called a register, which is a new player role in Football Manager 2014. It's a more aggressive, deep-line playmaker style role, and it worked brilliantly with Sandro. He ended up with a 7.82 average rating. He could just play his natural game. He's quite big, so he can, muscle players off the ball, but his passing is sensational as well, and this role just suited him perfectly. I also then had a box-to-box midfielder, usually Dembele or Paulinho, but other players like Honda, Diame, even Sandro would occasionally play there, and he was just the guy that would run up and down and was the cement in the middle of my team that kept the attacking midfielders, my defensive midfield, together. Now, it does look quite bare in central midfield, I guess, with this deep line player here, but it just worked well. As simple as, I can't explain it, it just did. Then, wingers or inside forwards, it would depend on who I was playing. If I played Lamella on the right, I'd have him as an inside forward. If I played Lennon on the right, I'd have him as a winger. It worked both ways really well. The wingers would put in good crosses, often to the opposite winger coming in and finishing. Or if it was an inside forward, they would cut in. And then I had an attacking playmaker, but I had him as support instead of attack. And Ericsson managed to get 16 assists that way, which was the most assists out of any player. And then a poacher up front over Soldado, but he was injured for a while, so I played the throw up there. Lamella played up there. Even Sigurdsson and Honda would occasionally play up front, and that worked really well. So now we have to move on to the actual general tactics. Now in FM14, if you don't have the game, you may not realise that there's no sliders anymore. So there's no sliders saying how you want to time waste and that sort of thing. It's now just instructions. You've got the general fluidity and mentality, and I pretty much kept it on fluid and attacking for 99% of the season. Even in games, I would very rarely, even if I was 2-0 up, I would just keep it like that, because when I did change to counter, it often backfired. So it really worked, just keeping it and sticking with it and having faith in it. And it worked. Instructions, I pretty much use these most of the time. Retain possession, shorter passing, run at defence, push higher up, hassle opponents and be more expressive. That's what I used. The red ones just means it conflicts with your choices if you don't have the game. Or if you do have the game, you don't know what this means, but this is what I went with. Occasionally, if I was struggling, I would go to more direct passing and get rid of retained possession and shorter passing. But 95% of the time, I would have it like this. Would sometimes go to higher tempo if I needed a goal, which was quite rare, and occasionally get stuck in, but very rare. So that's what I used, and that's how I won the quadruple in the first season. Player wise, I didn't do anything fancy. I didn't do individual player tactics whatsoever. Just kept it the way it was, and I got lucky and it worked wonders. Now obviously this is with a good team like Spurs, who are one of the favourite teams to win the league, probably one of 6 that potentially will win it when you're managing lower down teams. So yeah, I suppose it would be just interesting to see how it works with lower down teams. But if you've got a team that should be dominating, then use this tactic, see how it goes, test it out, and give me your results. Let me know how you get on. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below and I'll try and reply as best I can. And please leave a like if you find this tactic impressive or useful or just like the video. So see you guys.